Swimming might be the single most effective exercise you can do, and almost nobody takes it seriously. Somewhere along the way, you got sold the idea that real results demand long workouts in a gym 5 days a week, and that if your body started pushing back, well, that was just the price of getting older. Neither of those things are true, and the people who figured that out are changing their body from the inside out with barely an hour a week of swimming. So what actually happens to your body when you do swimming workouts? The first benefit is full body resistance training, and it starts working the moment you push off the wall. Water is roughly 800 times denser than air, which means every movement you make in a pool happens against constant resistance. When you pull through a stroke, you're loading your back, shoulders, and arms. Kicking drives your hips and legs against that same drag at the exact same time. And unlike a dumbbell, the resistance wraps around your body from every direction at once, so the smaller muscles that normally get skipped are forced to show up on every single lap. Fair warning though, if you haven't been in a pool in years, those first few sessions will humble you, and a couple of laps might leave you hanging on the wall wondering where your fitness went. But if you can push past that first impulse to quit, something interesting starts to happen. Your body adapts to water remarkably fast. And within a couple weeks, the laps that wrecked you start to feel smooth, which is one of the most motivating feelings you can give yourself. Here's what that means for how you actually look and feel. You're building real, usable muscle through your entire upper body and legs in one continuous session, and you're doing it without a single pound of weight compressing your spine or grinding into your knees. It's the reason longtime swimmers tend to carry that lean, athletic build without ever touching a barbell, and why they keep it well into decades where other people are watching theirs disappear. And the muscle is honestly just the surface layer, because while your arms and legs are pulling against the water, something deeper is being forced to adapt on every lap, and it happens to be the one system that decides how long you get to stay strong at all. Now think about what it would take to cover that same ground in the gym. You'd need one day for pushing movements, another for pulling, and a third for legs. And you'd still be loading your joints the entire way through. In the water, all of it happens inside a single workout you can finish in a short time period. Your heart is a muscle too, and it weakens the same way any muscle does when it stops being challenged. The difference is that you never see it happen in the mirror. You feel it on a flight of stairs, on the hill that used to be nothing. In the moment, you catch yourself avoiding something you would have done without a second thought a few years ago. That slow shrinking of what you're capable of is the real cost of a weakening engine. And it's exactly what swimming attacks better than almost anything else you can do. Here's the thing, when you swim, you don't get to breathe whenever you feel like it. The water decides. Your breathing has to follow the rhythm of your stroke, so your lungs are forced to become more efficient with every breath they're allowed to take. At the same time, your heart is pumping while your body is horizontal, which lets it circulate blood with less strain while still getting a serious training stimulus. So in one session, your heart is getting stronger, your lungs are expanding what they can hold, and your body is learning to squeeze more out of every single breath. Chasing that combination on land would mean stacking a treadmill session on top of dedicated breathing work, and even then you wouldn't quite replicate it. Swimmers consistently show some of the strongest lung capacity of any athletes ever tested, and their resting heart rates tell the same story. What that translates to in real life is energy that lasts through the whole day instead of running out by mid-afternoon, and hills, stairs, and long walks that stop being events you brace for. It's why the same staircase that makes one person pause at the bottom barely even registers for another. But there's something else happening in the water that's much harder to see, and if your joints have started making the rules lately, this next part changes everything. Remember the last time your knees or your lower back got a vote in your plans? Maybe you passed on the walk, took the elevator, or hesitated before picking something up off the floor. That constant negotiation with your own body is exhausting, and it's the quiet reason so many workout routines die within a few weeks of starting. The third benefit ends the negotiation entirely, because the moment you get in the water, buoyancy takes over. When you're chest deep, the water carries most of your body weight for you. Your spine, hips, and knees finally get a break from the compression they deal with every waking hour you spend upright, and it's often the only real break they get all week. While they're unloaded, your strokes are sweeping your shoulders and hips through wide ranges of motion that most workouts never come close to touching. Your joints get relief and movement at the same time, and movement is exactly how joints stay healthy, because motion is what pumps nutrients into the cartilage that has no blood supply of its own. On land, getting anywhere near that effect would mean a full mobility routine layered on top of stretching sessions, which is precisely the work almost everyone skips. In the pool, it's built into every lap whether you think about it or not. You walk in carrying tension and compression, and you walk out taller, looser, and moving like a younger version of yourself. So these first 3 benefits are covering ground that a lot of traditional advice never touches, and that's kind of what FitZip is about, cutting through the noise and giving you the stuff that actually moves the needle. Most programs are built around the muscles you can see and skip the small stabilizers that hold everything else together. That's exactly why so many people build strength in one area and still feel stiff, achy, or like their body is quietly breaking down somewhere else. I created the Reset Your Body Blueprint, and it's the foundation program built around those overlooked stabilizer muscles that get ignored. Aging has less to do with getting older and everything to do with what happens when we stop moving certain ways and let those stabilizers go quiet on us. If you want a body that can keep doing the exercises and activities you love for years to come instead of slowly breaking down, there's a QR code on the screen for you to scan with your phone, or check the link in the description below the video. Speaking of muscles nobody sees, there's an entire layer of your body that swimming trains without you ever noticing, and it might be the most valuable thing happening in the pool. When you're in the water, nothing is holding you up. There's no chair, no bench, no machine keeping you steady, so the deep muscles around your midsection, hips, and spine have to fire constantly just to keep you level and moving in a straight line. Every stroke you take is quietly doubling as core work, hundreds of reps of it, without a single crunch and without your neck or lower back paying the price the way floor exercises usually demand. There's also a twist to this. Literally, every freestyle stroke rotates your torso from one side to the other, training the muscles that wrap around your waist and control how you turn and reach. Those are exactly the movements where backs get tweaked. Reaching into the back seat or twisting to grab something off the counter and training them in the water means those everyday motions stop being risky. On top of that, a stronger deep core pulls your posture upright without you ever thinking about it, so you stand taller and carry yourself like someone years younger. And here's where it gets even deeper. Those stabilizing muscles are the same ones that protect your back when you lift something awkward, keep you balanced when you step off a curb wrong, and decide whether a stumble stays a stumble or turns into a fall. They're the difference between a body you can trust in unpredictable moments and a body you have to protect from them. In a gym, reaching those muscles means carving out separate time for planks and balance drills, and even then they'd only get a fraction of the constant reflexive work the water hands them for free. Now, all of that is what swimming does for your body this week, but there's a number buried in one of the longest running exercise studies ever done, and it should get your attention more than anything else in this video. Researchers tracked more than 40,000 men across 3 decades, comparing swimmers against runners, walkers, and people who didn't exercise at all. When the results came in, the swimmers beat everyone. Their risk of dying during the study was roughly half that of the walkers, and they even edged out the runners. Sit with that for a moment. A workout gentle enough to be prescribed for injury recovery outperformed running, the exercise the whole world treats as the gold standard for living longer. Part of the explanation is that no other workout trains this much of your body in a single session while protecting it the entire time. And part of it is simpler than that. Swimming doesn't beat your body up, so it's the workout you're still doing at 50, 60, and 70, while the joint pounding routines get abandoned one by one along the way. Consistency is the whole game for living longer, and it's exactly what impact-heavy training keeps stealing. A tweaked knee here, an angry lower back there, and suddenly 6 weeks of progress are gone. The water removes those interruptions almost entirely, which is why the results compound year after year instead of resetting every few months. You don't need to train like an athlete to collect on this either. 3 swims a week, 20 to 30 minutes at a time, is enough to get all of it working for you. That's the real promise of the water. A body you can trust for the long haul, built a few laps at a time. And if you want the program that builds the stabilizer foundation underneath all of it, the link is waiting in the description below.